In 1970, President Richard Nixon distributed an extraordinary gift to every nation on Earth. Tiny fragments of the moon itself, sealed inside acrylic plaques. Each one contained just 4 grains of lunar dust, smaller than a pinch of salt. Yet they represented humanity's greatest achievement. Apollo 11. The year was 1969. 3 men had walked on the moon: Armstrong, Aldrin, Collins. The world watched. And when they returned, Nixon saw an opportunity. The Cold War still gripped the planet. Nations competed, distrusted, armed themselves. But the moon belonged to no one. So Nixon ordered NASA to create something unprecedented: a peace offering. 250 presentation plaques, each one a tiny window into another world. The plaques themselves were simple: a rectangle of acrylic. Inside it, 4 rice-sized particles of moon dust, 50 milligrams total. Nothing you could see without squinting. But mounted beside each sample was a flag that had actually traveled to the moon and back. 50 American states received one. All 135 countries on Earth received one. Even the United Nations got one. The message was clear: this is not America's moon. This is humanity's moon. But here's where it gets strange. Nixon's gesture was genuine, but the logistics were almost absurd. NASA had to track which flags went which direction. The acrylic buttons had to be sealed perfectly. The dust had to be authenticated. 50 milligrams sounds like nothing, and it is, yet each grain was precious beyond measure. These weren't replicas. This was actual lunar material. Then, 5 years later, Apollo 17 returned with something bigger: a rock. Lunar basalt, officially cataloged as 717. The scientists called it the Goodwill Rock. Pieces of it, about 1.13 grams each, were placed in lucite and mounted alongside flags that had flown on that final moon mission. Another round of gifts. Another message to the world. Yet decades later, most of these plaques have vanished. Not stolen. Not lost in some dramatic heist. They simply disappeared. Some sit in dusty museum storage. Some are in private collections no one knows about. Spain's plaques survived. But where are the others? What happened to the gift that was supposed to unite the world? Did some nations treasure them so deeply they locked them away forever? Or did they simply not care that much about a few grains of dust? What would you do if you held a piece of the moon in your hands?